Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of the Marketing Your Practice podcast, the podcast where I get to simplify the marketing and the mindset necessary so chiropractors can have more income, impact, and enjoyment in practice. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking all about how we got an Instagram reel to go viral. I'm going to break down the video. I will share with you the ingredients that I think that helped it spread. You'll definitely want to copy those. And I'm going to share the results and what it's meant to our practice. Now be sure to listen right the way to the end because these are going to blow your mind. Now first, a big shout out to the amazing Dr. Emma Horner. She's one of our chiropractors. She's the one that made this video. So Emma, thank you. Well done. Now, before we get into the results of this video, what I want to do is I want to share a little bit about our practice. I want to give you a little bit of a background of how is it that we get our marketing done, because this is something I think that chiropractors are confusing. They're going into overwhelm and they're not using the support that's in around them. There's lots of people that could be helping you that are not at the moment. So our practice, we have 4 chiropractors. Lauren at the moment is on maternity leave. One of the chiropractors is kind of part-time. She's coming back with a young bub, and then we've got 2 full-time. We also have a naturopath. And then I think at this stage too, we have 2 CAs that work with us. Now, our whole team are engaged in our marketing. It's not the job that just gets left to Lauren and myself. Particularly when we employ chiropractors, when we're advertising them for them, and when we're having conversations, we let them know that it is their responsibility to be a part of the marketing, okay, right from day one. And if they're not prepared to do that, then they really shouldn't be at the practice. We let them know that we expect them to make videos each and every week. Now, it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes they get distracted. We have to keep on their back and keep supporting with them. But all of this now, over this last 6 months, one of the differences that we've had is all of this is coordinated by our office manager, Carly. So another shout out to the amazing Carly here. So Carly is the one that keeps the chiropractors accountable. She's in charge of our posting schedule. She makes a lot of the videos. So in many cases, well, she edits a lot of the videos. In fact, some of them she makes as well. But the chiropractors will make the videos, hand them over to Carly, and she does the rest. She sends the emails out to our patients. She manages all of it. Now, this took some work to begin with. Carly is young and enthusiastic, and so she was up for this. She has been working with us for a number of years now and was ready for a next level of kind of learning and excitement. One of the reasons that our staff leave us is because they stop growing. So we need to keep them engaged and excited and enthused, and this has been really great for Carly. So for many of you, marketing seems overwhelming because you're trying to do all of it, yet you've got these resources around you that could be really helping you. Now, again, I also want to check in with this because maybe you don't have these resources around you. Maybe you're a solo practitioner and you're doing everything and you're telling yourself, I don't have the time. Now, I'm always interested when I hear that because very rarely is it a time management issue. Often it's a focus issue. Where are you spending your time? You know, I taught last month for the community influencer members an entire course on purposeful planning, how I get done all the things that I want to get done and still have plenty of time to play golf and spend time with Lauren and Sunny and all those kind of things. It's a focus issue more than that. Taking some time to think about what is important for you, where should you be spending time, doing a little bit of a time journal where you look back over the past 24 or 48 hours and actually see where you've been spending your time. You'll be surprised how much time that you're actually wasting. For most people, it's not a time issue when it comes to your marketing. And I think we need to clarify this. It's not a time issue. It's not I'm confused. What it is that you're scared. You're scared of being seen. You're scared of looking silly. You're scared of somebody saying terrible things. Now, first of all, identifying that that's the reason that's holding you back. That's the first thing we have to do, because if you're telling yourself it's all about time and we don't actually get to the root of what the cause of the problem is, chiropractors, we're all about getting to the cause of it. And if it's a fear in around being seen, then let's deal with that. Okay, I mean, there's lots of episodes where I talk about fear, but telling yourself that you don't have the time will never allow you to get to the root of really what's going on. Now, our practice, getting back to that as well. So first of all, one of the things that's helped with the success of this is, as I mentioned beforehand, Emma made the video. It wasn't Lauren. It wasn't anybody else. We've got these team members each and every week that are making videos. Now, we ask of them about an hour each week. That's not a big ask. You know, they get a lot of support with a beautiful practice, great training of our staff, great systems in there. They're busy, they're earning good money, they're getting all those things. We want 1 hour each and every week for them to do this. Now, if you're doing this all by yourself, then in previous episodes, I have talked about how you can get a beautiful marketing done in less than 2 hours a week, consistently working through. Now, Lara, the practice that is where this practice is, a smallish country town, about 10,000 people, and has a reach out that probably gets to thousands more. But it's not a big city. We're not in inner Melbourne. The practice I have come from, which we just recently sold, was in inner Melbourne. Much busier area, much bigger pool that it was coming from, but a small town. Now, keep that in mind, because when we're talking about some of the results that this has given our practice, numbers of followers, all those kind of things, I want you to kind of keep that in perspective as well. So let's talk about the video itself. The video has now, at the time of me recording this, has had 1.2 million views. And 1 million of those came really quickly, but the views are still increasing. This is one of the interesting things with an Instagram reel, is that the views continue to happen for much longer than what they do in almost any other of the Instagram platforms. Pretty much most of the views that you'll get organically in the feed, certainly a story only lasts for 24 hours, but about 48 hours is what I see. And after that, the views stop. But this is a week and they're still going on and they're still growing. You know, there's been another sort of 200,000 of them over the last couple of days. Now, in this video, Emma is showing how the sacrum moves during birth. It's a very short video, okay? It's less than 5 seconds long, probably 3 or 4 seconds long. And I think that's some of the success. Now, when Instagram is counting views, I checked all this beforehand. If you happen to watch the same video multiple times, that counts as views. Now, I'm going to encourage you to head along to the Vital Health Chiropractic page. In fact, I'll link to our page in the show notes. So if you happen to be listening to this, then you can go over, you can watch the video yourself. Because it's a short video, you tend to watch it 2 or 3 times. Most people will. So these are not 1 million different people that watch the video. They're probably, the average view is 2 or 3 times. So it's, half of that, maybe a third of that. Now, short videos definitely will get more views. They're much more likely, because I think what happens is Instagram sees people watching the video again and again. It's an interest signal to Instagram that probably says, hey, listen, this video is interesting. Let's show it out to other people. Now, while you can make your Instagram reels now right up to 60 seconds long, I'm going to encourage you to keep them short. Okay, the shorter you keep them and really get to the point very quickly. So I think that's one of the reasons that this video was really successful. Okay, the second, there's catchy music. Instagram reels are all about kind of the sound on the music that goes with it as well. Now, I was tempted when I was preparing for this episode. Will I sing the song? The track is This Is How We Do It. In my mind, I'm so tempted to sing it for you now, but I'm not going to do that because that'd be ridiculous. So there is a catchy song that kind of happens at the same time. That's what makes the video fun as well. There's text on the screen. Now, the text on the screen just simply says this: during the birth, the sacrum moves back. It's like a headline. Now, it is telling somebody what's going to happen in the video, so that adds a level of interest in it. There's a prop. Now, in the video itself, Emma is holding a pelvis and she's showing how the sacrum actually moves. Now, if you go back a few episodes ago, I talked about visual elements that you could have at the start of your video that are much more likely to capture the attention. Now, Emma is doing all of these. The other great thing that Emma does is that she's smiling in the video to begin with. And then when she moves the sacrum, she has this lovely look of surprise on her face. That in itself is quite captivating, the way she does that. It's very, it's fun, it's smiling. So again, the video is short, there's catchy music, there's text on the screen there too, there's a prop, and Emma is smiling. Now, all of these factors go along, I think, to contributing to why this video was a success. Now, that being said, viral videos, there's a level of luck, a huge level of luck with all of this. And I've been studying this stuff for a long time. And with community influencer members, when we're creating different videos, you can create almost 2 identical videos, and one of them can get thousands of views and the other can get hundreds. And sometimes I'm baffled with why it is. But there are predictable things that we can do that increase the likelihood of us getting this type of result. For instance, I think about this. If you're going to win Tats Lotto, any of the lottos, you have to buy a ticket. You have to be in the game. Now, you need to be trying these type of things. These will all increase the likelihood that you'll have a video that will get a lot of views. Now, what have been the results for us so far? Now, here's where things get really interesting, okay? We've had 4,000 new page likes. So that's wild. So 4,000 people. Now, we've come from a base of about 1,000, and we've had 4,000 new page likes. Now, we've had, with this video, an outrageous amount of comments. Now, the comments are wild to look at. They're very, very funny, and they're a mixture of kind of three things. Lots of them are really great questions and comments about it. People genuinely wanting to know more about this. And so with a lot of those, we've responded to many of them. There's no way you could respond to all of them because there are thousands of comments. There's lots of weird comments that just don't make sense. And lots of the comments are flat out offensive, like really terrible. And this is the sort of thing that holds many of you back from making a video. There's lots of swearing. It's disgusting what goes on inside of there. And this is very hard for Lauren to read. She keeps on getting, she said, why are people so, this is what it is. Now, I want to remind you, you cannot be everything to everybody, okay? I love the metaphor. What you're wanting to be is magnetic. Now, the stronger a magnet is, the stronger the attraction that it has. The other side of the end there also has to be repulsive to that same strength. Okay, when you have a video that gets this many views, then of course, inside the comments is going to be a quagmire of just weirdness. Keyboard warriors and people do these things, okay? So just remember, when you get a video that gets a lot of views, there are going to be some people that are going to be weird on there, and that's totally okay. Now, you can have one of two choices. I've spoken about this beforehand. You can block people, you can ignore them. But with this number of comments, we just let them go. Okay, it's just part of what happens if you have a video that gets this number of views. So 4,000 new people liking our page is great, but here's the interesting thing so far. Now, this video has only been out for a week or so. We've had no new patients and no phone calls, and I don't expect there to be, okay? And I'm totally okay with that, and I'll tell you why. So here's the interesting thing. The type of videos that will get the phone ringing in your practice do have some things in common. Now, this I do have confidence about because I've taught it for a long time now, and I've helped a lot of practitioners do the same thing. Is a video that gets the phone ringing needs to do this. It needs to solve problems, and it needs to invite people into your practice. And this video that Emma did neither of those. It doesn't solve any problems. It shows you that the sacrum moves there. It doesn't invite anybody into the practice. For all intents and purposes, this video here could have been a cat video. It could have been a child doing something cute and smiling with regards to, and they would have had as likely a chance of the phone actually ringing. Now, it's not a bad thing though. Back, in fact, it was in episode 200 and I've got some notes here. I think it was 221. I talked about what no one's telling you about Reels, and we have become overly obsessed on Reels at the moment because they're kind of the trending thing. But it's not Reels that will get the phone ringing in your practice because they don't. Ultimately, you've heard me say this before, but let me remind you again. The more people in your community, and I need to talk about that in a moment, that know you, like you, and trust you, the busier your practice will be. Now, Emma's video was great, and I'm very thankful that she did it. I think she's an amazing person, but it doesn't build lots of know, like, and trust. It does build lots of know. Like, we have a whole bunch more people that know us now than did beforehand. But as far as building trust, and I guess there's some likability that comes from that, but it doesn't build authority and expertise. The other content on our page is what does that. The longer videos where I can solve a problem, in this case, maybe it's some other, that tends to be the focus that this practice has, where I can build authority and I can build expertise. Now, however, this is my thoughts. The extra 4,000 people that come to that now like our page, there's a level of authority that brings. And if someone's going to come along to our page, see now that it's like 5,000 odd followers there, that builds a level of authority as well. Now, how much, I don't know, because I also want to keep this in perspective as well. So Lara, 10,000 people, maybe a few more from the surrounding area. So prior to that, we had about 1,000 followers, a little bit less, but we virtually had and they were very focused. Those followers were mostly our patients and people in the local community, because when we were advertising, that's what we do. We advertise to that kind of 10-kilometre boundary. And so they're local people there, which means that we had almost 10% of our local community which were following our page. Now that's amazing. Now we don't need to be famous. You've heard me say this before. We want to be 5 mile famous. We want the people in our local area knowing us, liking us, and trusting us. Now the vast majority, obviously with 10,000 people, there's not 1 million people in our surrounding area. I guess there is if you took that catchment right up to Melbourne. But most of the people that watch this video certainly weren't from Lara. In fact, most of them weren't even from Australia. So they're not going to be our patients. They're never going to be our patients. And we have to realize that to some extent, when we get a video like this to go viral, it feels nice for a moment. But the end game of our marketing is to get the phone ringing. And these videos won't do that. I dive more into that back in episode 221 where we talk about that as well. So I'm not suggesting for one moment that you shouldn't be creating reels. I'm interested to see what continues to come because we are getting more views across all of the videos that we have on our page. Now that will mean that we're more likely to get reach out also into our local community, I think, but we'll find out more as we move forwards. So we had a video go viral. It had 1.2 million views. We've got 4,000 extra followers to our page. And at this stage, it's made no difference to the phone ringing whatsoever, okay? So it really reinforces what I suggested back in episode 221, is that while reels are fun and they're exciting, excuse me, and there's something fabulous about getting a video to have this many views, you need to see reels as only a part of the puzzle, okay? The videos that get the phone ringing and the videos that get the phone ringing in our practice that have things ticking over, step by step by step are the longer videos as well. Now, I'll be sure to update you on the results of this as we move forwards. The end thing here, my suggestion for you, is be making videos, longer videos, solve problems, invite people into your practice. And if you happen to get a video that goes viral, then enjoy the buzz along the way. Until next time, folks. Hey, thanks for all that you do. Keep saving lives. Your community desperately needs your help right now. See you back here real soon. Bye. If you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, you have to come and check out my Community Influencer Program. It's my monthly coaching program where we take all this material and I'll work with you to help you apply it, implement it, and systemize it. The Community Influencer Group Coaching Program is designed to help you increase your practice income, impact, and enjoyment. Join me over at anguspyke.com/join. That's anguspyke.com/join. I'd love to see you there.